Good morning world from Siargao Island here in the Philippines. We have officially been living 30 days off the grid, fully solar powered, and today I wanted to do a realistic review of how that's been going. There's a lot of people out there that talk about being interested in solar but never get it done, including us. It was the Typhoon Odette, or the storm internationally known as Typhoon Rai, that kind of forced us into off-grid living, because here on this island right now we still do not have electricity 3 months later. So making a decision to switch to solar and see how it actually affects your life. For over a month now we have first-hand experience, and living in this beautiful tropical paradise, even the storm damaged version has been a real eye-opener for us, and we wanted to share that information with you. Solar technology is getting cheaper. It's certainly not cheap, but considering the world's energy prices are going up and up, and they're so affected by things that are out of your control, like wars, it is a great way to be in control of your energy needs, considering we live in a day and age when everything is data driven, content driven. Without electricity, life is harder. That is just a fact. So without further ado, I'm going to go and show you the panels themselves and how the setup is working in the house in a real life setting. So some of you may have already seen our solar installation video where we filmed the guys come down and actually set up on our roof. We currently have 15 solar panels on our roof. Each panel is 450 watts. So that is giving us a total peak power of 6,750 watts, or sometimes referred to as a 6.75 kilowatt system. Now I understand that all of these numbers and words can seem a bit confusing. It certainly did to us, not knowing really much about electricity at all. So that's why I thought this video would be useful for people who don't really know anything about electricity or solar. So coming off of the solar panels are these wires, which then run into our house and are connected directly to our breaker box. We are actually running air conditioning at the moment. This is a 2.5 horsepower Samsung inverter air conditioner, and we certainly do need it. The little LED is a little bit broken, but this is currently at 26 degrees. It's nice and cool in here, and looking out of our main window right now you can see we've got some cloud cover. So this will be a good way to show how it works in different conditions. Since I've come back in the house, I have actually already had a shower using a water heater and a water pump and everything. I've turned on most of the lights in the house. Had that one here. Sasha and Story are currently using the laptop computer, which is plugged into the mains.
I'm playing with this.
Cool.
The body thing.
Yeah, do some learning. How's it been for you 30 days in, just being completely off grid using solar?
It's been amazing. Honestly, better than what I thought it was going to be, definitely. It's just normal. It's like we're connected to an electricity company and we don't think about it. Everything works as it should. It's not like there's a slower charge or things don't turn on as fast or things like that. Everything just works as soon as you turn them on. So it's, yeah, I didn't really know what to expect from it because it's obviously the first time we've used it, but definitely surpassed expectations.
I agree with that 100%. I think it does come down to how you design your solar system to make sure that that is the case for you. If you go underpowered, you would have problems with it. But I think as long as you put enough research into what you think your needs are going to be, you will get the same experience that we have. So I'm going to show you the inverter now, just to kind of give you an idea of what it's been like running this thing for a month. You have to excuse some of the mess because all of my tools are out here. I've been working on something, but this is our 10 kilowatt hour battery, which has 10,000 watts of energy stored in it. And this is our 8 kilowatt hybrid inverter, which will eventually be connected back to the grid when we get grid power back on this island. So with the clouds that you saw outside, we're getting 1 kilowatt input from the panels, and the battery is being charged by 500 watts, and we're only using 400 watts. And still no grid, which is what that X is. So a quick look back outside to see what kind of conditions we're in to give 1 kilowatt of power with the 15 panels. Earlier this morning when I was filming with the drone, you could see how sunny it was And during that time, with the full sunshine here in the tropics and the Philippines, we were getting about 3.5 to 4,000 watts of power coming into the battery, charging it right up. So by the time it got past morning, we had power back. I say past morning, but it's actually still 9:45 and we're already 88% charged on this big massive battery. So I said earlier, I know all of these numbers can be quite confusing with watts and everything. So I'll give you an example. This coffee machine, when it's heating, uses about 1,000 watts of power every hour. So to give some context, this big battery is a 10,000 watt hour battery. So technically we could run that coffee machine heating for 10 whole hours without any solar input. Hello, puppy. You brought your doggy to me? And how's the off-grid experience been for you? Yeah, has it been nice and cool with the air conditioning? Yes, yes. Let me give you a load test. I'm gonna put everything on. So the fan's on, the air conditioner in the bedroom is on. Right, you can hear it. Sasha's on the computer still. Story's watching Netflix. I'm gonna turn this fan on in here. Again, excuse the mess. This house is lived in. Okay, that's going. My drone is charging. And over here we have another air conditioning unit. Let's turn that on. So we've got two air conditioners running. We've got lights on. All of this is happening. Obviously the fridge that just stays on all the time. More lights on. And right now you can see we're using 1.67 kilowatts of power and we're generating 2.78, and the battery is still charging with about a kilowatt of power. And look, zero grid. Not lying to you, you can see it all right there. Obviously the great thing about living in the Philippines, especially going forward into the summer months and out of the rainy season, is that we get so much sunshine for so long, like so many months. We can use all of these appliances basically grid free during the day and have zero problems. Obviously when the sun goes down in the evening and there's no more inputs, you have to be a bit more conscious of which appliances you want to be running all night. But the fact that we can have 3 air conditioning units running on this system just blows my mind. And I just love the fact that it's so seamless. You know, Story's over there just kind of doing what she would normally do if we were connected to normal electricity. And currently we have zero grid. Like they're down. There's no actual power connection to this house at all because the storm destroyed the electricity supply. Let's go back outside and show you the grid's not connected. Okay, past the AC compressor. This is where our grid box would normally be connected to the breaker. This wire here is connecting the water pump, which is down connected to a well. So we're running well water, but the actual electricity grid wires are here on the floor, all wrapped up into coils because they all got ripped down when the coconut trees fell over during Typhoon Odette. I'm currently walking down to the other side of the property. It's about 100 meters, I would say, maybe a bit less. Down this end of the property is where the water well is, where the water supply for the 3 houses comes from. So here's that white wire I was showing you, which is directly connected to the pump room, which is in here. And you can see I bought this recently. It's a 1 kilowatt pump with a pressure tank here, and that's connected to our water system. And you can see that it is sucking the water from this pipe and then it goes down into this well. So all of the water currently for our house is coming from this well, which adds to the off-grid journey. We have no municipal water supply. Either it's coming from a well or it's coming from rainwater. I'm going to re-show you the rainwater catchment tank, which was fitted before we had this well sorted. More electricity lines completely destroyed by the storm. Not sure when they're going to reconnect them, to be honest. It has been over 3 months now since Typhoon Odette, so I'm really glad that we invested in this solar system. In terms of exterior lighting, we are all using these solar lights, which are very effective for outdoor lighting. They last pretty much all night, and really they've been lifesavers during this time where we've had to really learn to live with less. And there we have the water catchment from our roof, which goes into here, and this is now currently supplying the water to the big house over here because we are now using the pump to bring the well water. So they've switched it over so that they can get some gravity fed water. And that is pretty much how the system works. I would like to also kind of mention one of the maybe downsides of this. Of the whole 30, 32, 33 days or so, we've been using solar as our primary and only power source. Only one day did we run out of battery power in the night time, and that was because of the water pump. One thing that's been really shocking is that you do not realize how much power water pumps really use until you are kind of tracking your energy use in this way. One of our water pumps burst in the night time. The pump was using 1,000 watts every hour.
Yeah, obviously we didn't know until we woke up and it was 0.
Yeah.
And because of that, it took ages for the solar to get up to a charge again.
Yeah.
To be able to turn back on again.
Yeah.
So we had like the next day was maybe
11 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
it started charging again.
Yeah.
So that's something that was a bit of a hassle, being completely off the grid. If you go below the kind of emergency shut-off point, the energy that your inverter needs to restart needs to be quite high. So if you come into the morning with a low power day, you could be without power for half a day, maybe
Yeah.
longer than that. And it just needs a lot more to restart.
Yes.
So try not to run down to nothing.
the shut off was 10%.
Yeah.
Is it? So if
doesn't
you
come
go,
back.
Yeah, if you go below that, then it takes a long time for it to
Restart.
get going
Yeah.
again.
It needs a high voltage restart. So that was a bit of a shunt because we were like euphoric about how
Yeah.
well this all works, and then we had
We'd gotten used to having power back and being charged by the sun and everything. So when it cut off, we were like, oh no, this is
Yeah.
not supposed to happen.
but it was all because of that water pump.
Yeah.
That we didn't realise how much. So be wary of that. If you're on grid
Yeah.
power
And-
and you have a water pump and something goes wrong in your water system, you're going to be spending so much money on energy.
And then the only other time was maybe 3 days ago. We had a very, very cloudy, thick, heavy, dark clouds. It was a really stormy, just rainy, grey day. And the UV just wasn't getting through, so it wasn't charging.
Yeah.
So there was nothing, and we only just got to 50% charge
By the end of
in the whole day.
Yeah.
Like by the time the sun had started going, it was about 4:30 in
Yeah.
the afternoon. We got to 50%.
And on that day, we had to really be conscious of our use. No
Yeah.
air conditioning.
Yeah, we turned the AC off. Luckily, it wasn't a hot, sunny day. It was a cloudy, kind of coolish day anyway. So
But we still used the coffee machine in the morning.
Yeah.
We still had the fans on all day.
Yeah,
And we had lights on and the
the
computer.
telly.
Yeah, and we charged our phones and everything. So
Yeah.
really, it was still a pretty good day. It was just like, it wasn't a luxury day.
Yeah, we just
And
had
we
to
still
be-
got 50%.
yeah, we just had to be very conscious of the usage, and maybe overly conscious because we don't want to run out of power now.
Because we don't have the grid to top us up.
Yeah,
That's
so
it.
we were being overly cautious, and it did last. And then we were thinking, oh, maybe in the night it will go down to nothing again, and then the next day would have the same problem as before. But that didn't happen. It
No.
actually lasted throughout the night, and we were able to have fans on in both of our bedrooms all night and charge our phones and things like that. So that was fine.
And the following day, we were back up to 100% by 10 o'clock in the morning again.
Yeah, because
So-
it was sunny.
Yeah. So if you are thinking of like installing a solar system and you have a very, very cloudy country, like perhaps the UK, you will need to have more panels to suck the light through, you know, just to give you that extra thing.
Yeah.
And also, like, we've got a fairly unreliable grid here on this island. So for us, there's a lot of power cuts and whatnot. So having the battery is essential.
Yeah.
But in, I don't know, a more developed place, I guess, where the energy doesn't cut out so much, you could just like skip having the battery and just reduce your energy bills using the panels themselves.
Yeah.
So, but there's plenty to learn about this, but I was hoping that this kind of real world 30-day review would give you a proper idea of how powerful solar can be,
Yeah.
especially if you live somewhere with sun.
Yes, definitely. Lots of people have asked us as well about it, and pretty much everyone that we've spoken to that knows that we've had this fitted wants more information, and
Yeah.
they want to know how we've done it, how the cost, and they're just really interested in it. Obviously, by being stripped of your essential like electricity, your power, because of a thing that was taken out of our control. Obviously, the storm is what prompted us to just go for this, but
Yeah.
it was something that we were thinking about in the future. had the storm not happened, we may not have done it as soon as we have.
Yeah.
But the fact that our area here is still without power over 3 months after the storm, and the fact that we had it for over a month now, it's just, I can't imagine not having it, like still being without power now is just kind of unthinkable. You know, it's not something that we would have wanted to have to go through for this long.
Whatever happens now moving forward, I'm glad that we did this now.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So that is it for our solar review, 30 days in. And I know the main question everyone's going to be asking is, how much did this system cost? So here, our system, this current one that we got set up here, cost us just under 700,000 Philippines pesos. So I'll let you guys do your own calculations into your own currency. I think that the price of the solar technology has reduced a lot because we've been looking into this for over 10 years now, and you can get, I would say, double the amount of power for half the money than you could 10 years ago. Not sure what that means now going forward with energy prices going up. Maybe solar will be in higher demand, but currently when we did it, we feel like it was well worth it, and we can have it paid off with our current electricity bill price in less than 10 years.
I am carrying your brief box. Your chess box.
You got my chess kit. You want to go out and play some chess, yeah? When you go to a cafe? Okay, I have been told what we're doing. So I hope you enjoyed this solar update, and we will see you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.